Hey, gang. I am so incredibly sorry for being so late tonight. It's my fault. It's my fault. I was having some issues technology wise, and like that happens, right? And unfortunately, the gal that usually gets on with me, I don't think she got my invite. So here I am by myself. Normally, I have someone join me, and she asked me 4 questions about Park Lane Jewelry. First of all, if you are watching this live, can you please go on and tell me, go out into the comments and tell me, where are you coming from? Who invited you? Most especially, I'm excited about where you're coming from. Oh, I think she might be here. Hey, everybody, I might have a guest. Let's see if we can have her join now. There
I'm
she is.
sorry.
You have nothing to be sorry for. It absolutely under my control and not.
Well, I'm not even on my correct camera, so you're getting a
Me
downward
either.
angle of Ginny.
That's what happened
Not
to
a
me. I was like, right, whatever. And look at how weird my hair looks because of the brick thing behind me. Okay, so hey, look at we're having people Springtown, Texas. Hello from
Texas.
Oklahoma. Jennifer Ewert from California, live from Kansas City, invited by Seisha. This is so exciting. Keep them coming. We want to know who invited you and where you are joining from. It's Katy, Texas. Can you even believe the scope of,
No, it's crazy.
right?
It's
Truly,
crazy. Okay,
truly.
let me just breathe a moment. I apologize. I was having technical difficulties, but so
As
were you.
was
So the two
I.
of us,
So we like started this a little bit late.
we did. We apologize.
So you guys, let me just go rogue a little bit here and keep us busy. But I am Mary Grace Lewandowski. I'm an executive company vice president, and I live in St. Louis, Missouri. My cohort is Janine George, Volano George, who lives in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And she's so good to join me here every week. And we just think it's super important to bring whoever's watching us, just the opportunity that here awaits you in Park Lane Jewelry. And if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're watching us on a Facebook group, in fact, let us know where you're watching us from. I believe in signs, and it could be like you were meant to hear this. You were meant to hear this about this opportunity this evening. Almost none of us go like looking for what we have here. Like we go to a show or we see it online and we think, maybe I could do that. And we fall into it by accident. So I believe in that. And I think it's super powerful, super powerful. And we're just so incredibly happy you're here. But if someone specifically invited you to come join us, that means they think a lot of you because we get to decide who we want to work with, as does any manager. And we are would be so thrilled to mentor and work with you. It means we think you're super, super talented. You have something going for you. It could be a really amazing personality. It could be that you have unbelievable social skills. It could believe that you have a great presentation style, social media skills, whatever it is. Somebody invited you because they believe in you. So, you ready, Janine? Did you
I
catch
am ready. I am ready. We have, we
that?
have we're a little late tonight. We have four. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. We have 4 specific questions we like to ask. I ask them to Mary Grace. These are the 4 things that most people ask in the beginning when they're just kind of dipping their toe and finding out, kicking some tires, finding out what direct sales is about. So we actually start with that question, Mary Grace. Why direct sales?
Right. Like, do you even know like what this is called? I didn't.
No.
I went to a show and I thought, oh my goodness, that looks fun. And I was looking for some extra income. I like one of my biggest whys in the whole entire universe. Janine, you know this story, but my husband was a worrier and I loved him and I did not want him to worry about money. And I remember when this opportunity came my way, like, oh, I can control it. I can maybe make a grocery money for our 4 kids and us per week. Take that off his plate. I was so, I that's why I wanted to do it. I wanted to try it. But what is direct sales? I think if somebody had worded it to me that way in those days, I would have maybe not even looked into it because I would have misunderstood it. So a lot of people think of direct sales like a pyramid scheme or, like one of those things where you get to get all your family and friends to sign up and do something so that you can make money. No.
Right.
In truth, direct sales means direct sales, direct to consumer. Okay. In the beginning of time, that was the number one way that people sold, was direct to consumer. And in today's world, it's pretty cool because I know all of you out there, in fact, give me hearts if you've noticed this. People don't necessarily want to go to the mall anymore. It's a little bit sad. It's like tumbleweeds going through the mall. And like online is the place to shop, but you miss the personal connection. So it's just so incredibly wonderful that through direct sales we can do both sides. Like 78% of our reps do completely online,
Right.
and a 20 something percent, which you and I would be in that little bucket, do both in line and in person. And then there's like 9% that do only in person. I have a favorite story about direct sales.
I love that you share it.
Yeah, like you go, it's Monday, and I'm like, isn't it always Monday? But okay, so this just really resonated with me. David Bach, B-A-C-H. I always spell his name in case you're going to look him up. He wrote The Automatic Millionaire, and when he wrote this book, it became a number one New York Times bestseller very quickly. Probably still is. But I, believe it or not, because I'm this age, the first time I heard him speak was on a cassette tape. And I was listening to him on a cassette tape way back in the day. And I was so impressed with what he had to say. And he said when he started this plan, where he thought, oh my gosh, I can help regular, everyday people, which I would assume most of us are. Most of us are not trust fund babies. Regular, everyday people, how they could become millionaires in a very short time. He said he was so excited to share this with people because he figured it all out, and how to show just everyday people how exponential growth when you invest money is like such a powerful thing. So he goes out in the world. He's ready to be this financial guy with the plan, and he starts to meet with people. Believe me, I'm going somewhere with this story in case you're confused. But he starts to meet with people, and he's like, he very quickly realized that when he was telling people if you could invest $300 to $500 a month, how it would change your life and you'd be a millionaire in like 10 years. He said he very quickly realized, oh my goodness, I did not know that this was the state of people for the most part. He said every single couple that he met with, every single individual that he met with, truly everyone, was like, David, we don't have $300 to $500 a month.
Right.
He realized that people were not living paycheck to paycheck. It was worse than that. They were living paycheck to credit card to someday hope to pay it off. And if they had an extra $300 to $500 a month, which to be fair would translate to about, what do you think?
$7 now.
You're talking $700 today, yeah.
$750 to yeah.
Yeah, he was like, if we did have that amount of money to invest, then it would go towards debt. It would go towards an emergency fund in case anything went wrong. It would go to, should we decide to have a special vacation or something. So then he had a bigger mission, which you and I both know that we get excited about this, because he didn't just give up there. He thought, okay, there's a bigger mission here. And he said, how can I help people make that amount of money so that they can invest it? And, he went through all different scenarios, and they were going to have huge life changes for people. And he said, that's when he discovered, he said it just like this, that's when he discovered direct sales.
Yeah.
And he said, oh my gosh, because it served like all the purposes of being able to make that kind of money with none of the negatives that people are putting with it. So regardless of your schedule, you could work around your schedule in direct sales. So no matter what your schedule is, you can work around it. You could decide when you wanted to work, and you could decide how much money you wanted to make. And if your goal was to make $500 to $700 a month, you could do that way quicker than you could like work in retail at minimum wage or whatever. Sure. So I just loved that he was such a proponent of direct sales. And I love to share that story because it is like, I started it for grocery money. Janine, do you have a story? What's your story, Janine?
I started because I worked corporate America and I wasn't happy with my boss. That's the truth. That's why
You
I started.
wanted like more flexibility and
Mhm.
stuff,
But I
right?
remember what it was like when I had a separate account and I made my first $1,000. I wasn't spending a dollar till I made my first $1,000. And
Yeah,
it was a couple weeks in, and I remember thinking, wow,
yeah,
that's, that
yeah,
must have been beginner's luck. Like that's what I thought. But yeah, those are the
yeah.
kind of stories that come. We have so
Yeah.
many different people from so many different walks of life. I love that. And I love the David Bach,
But then you
automatically
hear it
earned.
week after week.
No, I think it's
Woo!
powerful because not only did he figure out that, he thought this was such a simple fix. Okay. An extra $500. What's that? Well, to him, it was nothing. But to the average American, that's a lot of money. That's $6,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's a vacation. So you have to look at it like that. So, okay, now that we know what direct sales is, Mary Grace, how about jewelry? Why jewelry?
Well, I was one of the people that made the mistake of not thinking that was the way to go. My first foray into direct sales was into the candle business.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh, perfect consumable product. Quite honestly, I went to a show and it looked fun. And I thought, oh, I could do this. This would be fun. It would make extra income. Um, and I was one of the people that would say, jewelry? Who would sell jewelry? So the story that I like to use, because I did come over to Park Lane, because Park Lane is the only direct sales company that I'm aware of that rewards experience in the same way that normal jobs do.
Yes.
Like let's think. You said you came from corporate America.
Mhm,
I did too. I used to sell steel.
mhm.
If I was looking for another job in that same industry, I wouldn't go back like to where I started on the desk. I would be like, no, I have these kind of talents. I'd worked myself up to this. I want a job that's commensurate with the experience that I brought to bring you here. And it's the same here with direct sales here in Park Lane. It's a wonderful program. But at any rate, I really was a little hesitant about the jewelry thing until I heard the story of the Levine family who started Park Lane in 1955. They were the founders of the company.
Mhm.
They knew they were one of the first. They started like when Mary Kay started. They started like when Stanley Home Products started. They were
Right.
one of the first direct sales companies ever. And they were so smart because they thought, well, that seems like a really good model to like use people's living rooms instead of a showroom to show the product. Now, of course, we know today we use, social media and computers and everything else. But they also thought, we want to help. We want, how did they word it? They wanted to start a business where their children's children would be financially secure forever. And then they even took it a step further. They thought, no, really? We want a business where people that work with us have children's children, if I'm saying that right, that are going to be financially secure forever. And that's why they wanted to use the direct sales model. What they didn't know was what product should we represent, And they were smart because they hired three separate consultants from three separate consulting companies. And they said, here's your job. Go out in the world and tell us what product we should represent. Come back with your top three and be ready to defend your answers. To their shock, because they seriously thought they were going to do a home product or something, to their extreme shock, all three of the consultants came back with jewelry as number one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. And then, of course,
It
they
really is.
defend their answers. So here's where I'm like going to make, like, I don't know, how long have I been here? 15 years? 15 years ago, you would have just been taking my word for it that I was trusting the Levines. Today, you can take my word for it because I've lived it. And Janine's word for it because she's lived it. But it's like, think about it, you guys. Okay, first, from a customer standpoint, the market is absolutely huge. Uh,
Mhm.
Everybody accessorizes, and they accessorize from 3 years old or before to all the way 100 years old, right? I mean, the market is absolutely huge. Men, women, everything in between. Okay. No, one of the number one gifts in the world, candy, flowers, and
Jewelry.
jewelry. All right. It withstands the test of time. Jewelry has been around with since BC, and it's forecasted to go up something like 10 times in the next 10 years. So it's absolutely amazing. And then let's think about it. There's probably more to say about that. Oh, it's considered a consumable product.
Mhm.
because fashion changes so quickly, changes with the trends, with the outfits, with the seasons. But also, like, let's think about it from our standpoint, not even just the customer standpoint, but our standpoint as representatives for this product. What do people do with our jewelry, Janine? They wear it. Okay.
Wear it and talk about it, right?
They wear it. They talk about it. People say, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get that?" So like so much comes back to us. We wear it. And people go, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get that? It's so cute." And then it's such an easy segue into, "Oh my
Right.
goodness, I mean, whatever." Um, it's so inexpensive to ship in store. So inexpensive to ship in store, which is absolutely a benefit for us. But in the same way, it's a benefit for the company. So
Mhm.
like when, quarantine hit, we had hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory in our Chicago warehouse. And you can attest to this. We never missed a beat
Nope.
during COVID, okay? Because we were set. So there's just so many advantages to jewelry. And the Levines took the advice of these people, and here they are since 1955, being so super strong. And
Yeah,
they're
and
very
built a damn crazy company, didn't they? This is just amazing, isn't it?
good.
Really, when you hear that
Proud
story.
of us. Yeah.
Mhm. Been around a long time. So, okay, now we know what direct sales is and we know why jewelry is so important, but why Park Lane? How do we fit into this niche?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just hearing for the first time, I'm not even hesitant to tell you there's other opportunities. If you've decided that you want to do jewelry, there's other opportunities. They're just not as strong as ours. And I'm not saying that because because I have a great admiration for other companies, but we have so much going for us. Okay, so first of all, 1955, debt free, cash rich. Okay, do we care about that when we get paid every week?
Yes.
Absolutely. We know we're going to get paid. But let's look at it from the other side. Okay, who do you think the fashion designers want to do business with? Who do you think the jewelry houses and the gem houses want to do business with, right? They want to do business with somebody who can pay cash and who they don't have, yeah, absolutely, and is like established, okay? We're the number one direct sales jewelry company in the world. There's a lot to be said about that. Something that I love those facts, but I also love the fact that we are the only jewelry company, that has like such a wide variety. So, for example, when I start to say this, some of you will recognize this. There are jewelry companies that sell only silver. There are jewelry companies that sell only pearls. There are jewelry companies that sell only Swarovski crystals. Okay, beautiful, wonderful product. Absolutely adore it. However, not everyone does. So I love that we have the huge variety in product.
Mhm.
It's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. They say that when you're looking at a company, that you should look at the product, the programs, and the profit.
Yep.
Our programs are the richest in the industry. We have the absolutely richest customer sale in the industry. To
Hands
the
down.
point where people think that we're talking about the hostess program when we're talking about the customer program, where it's buy two for regular, get four for half, blah, blah, blah. And that's very easy to repeat. And girls almost have it in their DNA, and guys. Like, if they hear about a really good deal, they want to tell other people about the deal. So imagine what that does for us. We have the most generous hostess program in the industry, where it's based on number of orders as opposed to how much you sold. I remember as a second grade teacher inviting my friends. I'm like, none of us made any money. It wasn't to Park Lane, it was to the other company. But it
Yep.
was like, if you had, it was based on how much you sold, the percentage. And
Right?
I love that it's based on number of orders here. So that pressure of whatever you're feeling for your friends isn't there. And then, of course, if you're watching this, you probably care very deeply about our profit program. And we are the highest paid in the industry.
Mhm.
Where you can go from 30 to 50% commission on everything that you sell, not to mention all of the weekly bonuses and monthly bonuses and the extra perks like our trips. We get 2 trips a year. Most companies, if they have even one, that's really great, and it's usually for the upper echelon. Ours are designed to engage and bring in the newest consultants. We have the richest program as far as free product. We can earn up to $1,000 in free product every single month. That is a huge deal, you guys, because we can use that to own, to do like our present giving or for incentives. And we get paid on everything that we sell, even to ourselves. And that is super, super unusual. So even as a customer, your best family and friends discount is to become a rep.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Super powerful. Did I leave anything out?
No, I'm just sitting here listening to you about the
I'm ready to join. I'm ready to join. Are you?
Yeah, I'm ready to join because you talked about the 3 Ps, and I think there's always a 4th P, and that's the people. So they get to work with people like you and I. Come on now, that's the fun. I mean, who wouldn't?
No, really. So many people have told me how I didn't really know when I did, I wanted money or whatever, but I've gotten so much more out of this than I ever expected because we lift each other up. We're part of a really cool community. We're women raising up women and men, lifting other women and men. That's not always typical. Lots of times people are in competition in the real world. I got tired of that.
Not in this company though. That's not how we do things. And I think that's something that we really we do stand above when it comes to that. So why now, Mary Grace? I know how you're going to answer this, but I always have to ask. The last question is, why should I join now? 21 minutes we've been going because we were late, but why now?
You guys, this is a success principle. And I know that I've always been a little knee-jerk about my decisions, like when they felt right, but I didn't know that I was doing it right until it was put in writing in many, many different forums. And they said, successful people don't overthink things. Successful people look at the bottom line, what they know, what are the positives, what are the possible negatives, and then they just make a decision that they'll learn everything else as they go. And if you're one of the people out there who doesn't do that, and you're going to roll your eyes at yourself, the other side of that is people that go, well, maybe I'll do this when my children graduate. Maybe I'll do this someday after I retire. I want to look, what if I don't get any customers? And I remember my husband saying to me, I tell you what, honey, if you don't do this, you're not going to get any customers. And I thought, you're right. It's that simple. It was that simple, So that's one thing. So now is always the right time because the rest will come to you much in the same way as when you're driving at night. You trust that your headlights will show you where to go around the next curve, right? Okay, we will show you. We're a super, super, super powerful, talented team, and we have all the resources that you need to get you off to a very successful start. Much better than I had because we've created and gotten rid of those obstacles along the way. That all being said, it's also an amazing opportunity right now because for $99, you get to pick out $700 worth of jewelry. Now, seriously, if I open the window right now of the room that I'm in, this brick room, and I scream out, who wants $700 worth of jewelry for $99? Right. People will come to my door, right? It's a great deal for anybody. But in addition, you as a new rep, that's everything you need for a year to do your business. That's your website. That's all of the, the things that I pay for, and you have access to them immediately. All of the, it's really like a cut and paste business. All of the back office stuff to Park Lane. Who can open a business for $99?
Nobody. All the marketing materials.
Also take $700 worth of jewelry. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And that's what we're offering right now.
And, I don't know if we mentioned there's no quotas. So nobody's going to make you sell something. And, all we ask you to do is, and I coined this little dumb phrase, do a little dip your toe show with your stylist. Okay. So you're going to do a little dip your toe show You're going to do a show with your stylist, and here's what's going to happen. After the show is over and your stylist has done a stellar job at gaining, customers that are excited about Park Lane and showing them our sale and sharing all of the benefits of Park Lane, you can then decide, do you want to just be the host of the show and reap the reward and benefit of that? Or would you like to be the host and get the paycheck? It's
Yeah.
that simple.
Yeah. And that's super unusual too, but that's what we do. Always
The one
like someone, let's say I invited someone to this call tonight and they decide to try Park Lane. It would be like if I was running a very successful Starbucks and we open another Starbucks right next door. But I closed my Starbucks up and went over to help you start yours. And any customer that came in that would normally go into mine goes into yours. And when we're finished, you get paid, not me.
Yeah.
I mean, there really are no disadvantages to doing what we call a decider show. And what
Decider
Jason is, yeah.
launch party decider show,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
So we have like a Google survey, and it serves as your ticket.
Your entry.
Drawing, yes. And then on there's some really important information like what kind of jewelry do you like? Because I would want to make sure that I created a package that would be super, super appealing to you.
Nice.
So wherever you're watching this from, if you're watching it on YouTube, we'll put it in the comments. If you're watching in a Facebook group, we'll put it in the comments. And you want to make sure that you grab that survey. All you do is click on it, fill it out online, send it. You got 24 hours to fill out the survey. And I will be choosing a winner for the free jewelry, whether you say yes or no. But I hope very much that you say yes, because how awesome would it be if we could all work together? You never know.
Great.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is you don't like it. And then you come back to being one of our customers. But you're going to leave with more than you came with. That's for sure.
And boy, are you going to be blinged out.
Thank you as always for joining me this week. Sorry we were a little late, guys. It was totally my fault. I'm so excited that you are here, and I hope to get to know you better. I hope we get to work together.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, Jeannie. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mary Grace.